Okay, so here is a quick video on how to use the 200 tools on your Haas classic controller. So this video is in two parts. First, you have to change some settings on your Haas controller and then some in the software. So first thing, you'll have to change the parameters lock, number 7. In order to save your settings, if you turn off your machine, set them to off, make your changes, turn it back on after. So the second setting would be parameter 15 or setting 15, height and tool code agreement. And then you also have to check your setting 90. That's the max tools to display. It might be just set to 10 or whatever it is, but you can turn it up to 200 to use the full 200 tools. So just to recap there, so the number 7, your parameters lock, number 15, height and tool code agreement, and then also your 90 max tool to display. You'll have to make those changes, and then you will be able to see the list like I have here. All the tools don't just go up to 10; they go up to 200. And that's basically what you have to change on your controller. Now I'll do here closer, just a close-up for you guys to see a little bit closer the settings here, and maybe some of the settings on my machine if you're looking to change some other settings. So I'm also running a 4th axis, an HRT or HT or whatever it is, 210. And also I am drip feeding as well, so I have my settings set up to drip feed and send the programs directly through a serial cable. So here's your max tools at 200. All you got to do is just type an actual number. So for example 10 and enter, right, or 200, right, and then it'll change the number to 200. And the second setting here would be the 15, your height and tool agreement. You'd have to change that to off, so the machine will allow you to have, for example, tool number 1 but height 100, or height 11, or like you see here on the list, you have a lot of the tools and then the other columns as well. So once you have changed that, you would do your, let's say, your height on your tools. So here, the way I do mine is off the bed with a Edge technology height gauge, and currently it's set to 4 inches. So this is a 4-inch high. Clean your bed on your machine before you put that down. Here I'm just doing a quick demonstration, so there's a few chips here and there. And I'm not actually zeroing it out completely because it's just for demonstration purposes. So I will just bring my tool, set up my height, and go to your controller. And now in let's say this would be in tool 1 or pocket 1, you don't highlight the length column. You would, for example, let's say you want to put the height in the setting 21, so you would actually hit the button there, a tool offset measure, and it'll put that height there. Now here I'm subtracting 4 inches for the height of the Edge technology, but minus and a minus is a plus, so it actually just adds 11. I was supposed to add subtract a positive 4. So anyway, so once you set up your height, let's say, you put in your geometry, and let's say you wear, right now I'm just doing a 2 thou. That's depending on what color compensation you use. And again, these are just rough numbers, just for demonstration. So now you have that height set, and that particular, so let's say tool 1 with height information in location 21. So you'd have to keep track of that. Write that down. You know what tools you have, and if you were to have more tools, let's say this is tool number 2 in my machine, in pocket number 2. So you would do the same thing basically. Just bring it down, do your tool offset measure, whatever it's at, and then let's say you put that information in pocket, let's say in the setting 22 there. So you do the same thing and put all the other information in there. So now here's the part that you would have to do on your machine in order for the G code to ask for the information. So let's say get tool 1 out of pocket 1, but the height is in a different location. If you have, let's say, multiple tools, you have, let's say, 20, 30 tool holders, you can have, let's say, tool 1 getting your height and diameter from number 1 location, but you can also have a tool 1 that'll go and get that information from, let's say, location 21 or something like that, or 11, or whatever you decide to put, but you'd have to keep track of it. So here's the way you do it in Fusion 360, which is quite common. You'd have to change this setting here. So you have tool number 1, so it'll call for tool 1, but the length offset, let's say you want to use setting 11 on your controller, or and diameter 11 to get that for color compensation. So once you change that, you'll see that once you write the actual G code, even though it calls for tool 1, it doesn't go and get the height for tool 1. It calls for tool 1, but it goes and gets the height for 11. That's basically what you would have to put them on your controller. So therefore you can have, let's say, multiple tool 1s. One has the height at number 1 and the other one has the height at 11, let's say. So here you see it calls for tool 1. That's the tool 1 there, but when it goes to call the height is height 11. So it gets that information from your controller, where you put that height information on your machine when you do your tool offsets. And that's basically how you change that. So 2 parts. One is in the settings in your machine to allow this to happen, because if you don't change the one setting, tool and height agreement, it'll give you a warning that the tool and height number are not matching, right? Here's a Mastercam version. Same thing in Mastercam. This is an older version, but the newer ones are practically about the same. So here's, let's say, tool number 2. Since this toolpath has already been written, it already set that information, so you'd have to change it in 2 places here. So you'd have to change it in parameters here at the tool offset number, so 22, and then length 22, location 22. So diameter offset 22, and then length offset 22. So something like that, and then you'd also have to change it here. So if you change your tool, so you have a tool library of, let's say, 50 tools, you can have multiple number 1s with different lengths and different diameters, multiple number 2s with different lengths, different diameters, and so on. And then when you write your G code, you'll see that even though it calls for, let's say in this case, tool number 2, it calls for a height of 22. So you put that in your controller. Okay, so usually, like, you could do something like that. Like, I've tried this myself to use, let's say, tool 1, location 11, tool 2, location 12 or 22, just to keep it consistent. So now here I do have a lot of tools myself, though I do not use this method. You can use something like this to label your tools and keep track, but I personally don't use it. I'm just worried about making mistakes, and it's just too much to keep track of, so I don't use it.